Thank you, Di. That was great to set me off.
I'm going to just put the wedge in the table.
Yep.
And get the table level. You can't do it with a wonky table.
Very good table.
It's me first. Can I have a...
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. Or do I press? Do I press it? It's on. Well, we're all here. And first of all, as has already been said, thank you very much that you've all been able to make this happen in 2020. It's a year to remember, not because of COVID, but the fact that the first of our two lovely boys have got married. I'm married to Daisy, who, from his early days at Reading, he clearly lost his heart to, and who is now able to be called Daisy Sia Sherwood-King.
Welcome to the family.
We're very pleased that all of you have come today, and particularly, I mean, from our side, that Willem, Floris and Anna have come as well, which is great. And so I will hand over to my dear wife, who will add a few more words.
Okay. So, looking back 27 years, what can we tell you about our little boy? What makes him tick, and why do we still love him so much? Well, what is not to love? He is handsome, funny, loyal. He promised he would drink regularly when he moved out, and he kept his promise. He has a way with words, as we have already heard today, and gives the biggest hugs and cuddles. I still miss cooking a meal whilst he plays all my favourite songs and music from my youth and singing and dancing along to it. Peter was born in early January and was a perfect baby. He slept a lot, rarely cried, and although he born in London, he was soon travelling abroad. He was 6 weeks old when we took him by car for his first family skiing holiday in southern Germany with his brother, Opa and Oma, his Dutch grandparents, and his uncle Peter and then girlfriend Sonja. When we were out and about, he was very happy in the cot that was tied to the sledge or snuggled up in the baby sling.
Okay, so a little bit more of the background. So for the first 2 years of Peter's life, we actually lived in London, near Greenwich Park. We regularly walked to the park to meet with friends. William's best friend then was Ben and his little brother JJ, and Michael and his little brother Christopher. Dressing up as Batman and Robin or as Power Rangers was an almost daily occurrence and something they all loved doing. Grandma and Grandpa lived nearby in sandy beds, and it was also easy for us to fly to Holland from City Airport in quite a small plane as it was then, to visit Oma and Opa. In 1994, we decided that we would move away from London and we would move to Buckinghamshire. We had friends who lived in the area, and we liked the idea of a grammar school system of education. Grandma and Grandpa regularly went to Recce to Bucks and report back on the houses we had details of. So in October 1994, so in October 1994, we moved to Bucks, where we still live, and a new family life began. I think I'm right in saying that within days of moving in, Peter, who is a little accident prone, managed to fall headfirst out of the patio doors on his head. And although he obviously cried, a visit to A&E was not actually necessary at that time.
As a family, we regularly travelled abroad. We often drove to Holland to see Opa and Oma, and highlights were trips to theme park the Efteling. The boys also went camping with their Auntie Ilona, and although I think they enjoyed the trip, they were less than impressed. They were less than impressed having to have their photo taken, dressed up as little Dutch fishermen. Including having to wear clogs. Yeah. We also drove to Austria every year for our skiing trip. Opa and Oma would take the boys walking and sledging on their green and yellow thing, as initially they didn't like skiing whilst we went off for the day. Sliding down the hills brought hours of fun. Peter was 5 when he had his first proper skiing lesson in Obertown, and he loved it and still does, although it is 5 years ago since he last went on a skiing holiday.
Yeah, because of bloody women in...
Let me finish. We are still hoping to persuade... We're still hoping to persuade Daisy and Joe one day to all go skiing together.
Well, Joost has learned it with 50, so you should.
I'm up for it. I just can't do it.
Other holiday highlights were a trip to the US, skiing in Canada, a family holiday to Tuscany with all the Dutch relatives, with scorpions in the bedrooms, and a fantastic infinity pool overlooking the valley and eating ice cream in the nearby town square. Christmas in Austria with singing at dinner and readings which no one understood, followed by a torchlit walk up the mountains for a drink of schnapps around the fire. Fireworks on New Year's Eve in the town square in Moutendorf, dodging rockets and bangers, or as midnight strikes in Ape in Holland, with the best recreation of Beirut you can imagine.
Do it now.
Staying above Monte Carlo, but remembering that the patio walls are not built and the swimming pool is not finished, a health and safety nightmare. Thankfully, trips to A&E remained limited to Holland, where he fell onto a mussel shell and sliced open the palm of his hand, and Spain, where he slipped by the pool and cracked his head open. In both cases, stitches were enough and no further harm was done.
So Peter started toddler group in Watermead, then nursery and at Aylesbury, before joining his brother at Bearton School. He was always with his best friends, first Joshua and then Toby. He did well, did not cause any problems at school. But he did produce some very strange drawings and poems, and we wondered whether there was a little monster hiding behind that angelic face.
Look, what about his drawings? His drawings, he put my name on it.
He managed.
I won't talk about it, but it was questionable.
He managed to pass his 11 plus exams and went to Aylesbury Grammar School. He wasn't a top student, but but he passed his A levels and made friends for life. Some of whom are here today. Yeah. But here are a few of the final remarks that were on Peter's last school report. Peter's sense of humour is infectious in the morning. Said nothing about the afternoon. Peter has played an active role in a range of school and house events during his time at AGS. His leadership and major involvement in our house music entry before half term was very much appreciated. And from P.A. Venning, who's P.A. Venning?
Not a nice woman.
Right. Well, actually, it's quite pleasant.
Nice woman.
What a rapper. What a revelation. Well done on a really good year on the stage with a microphone and with academic progress.
This made us think. Peter is half Dutch, and I'm the Dutch part.
Are you really?
Yeah. In Holland, it is tradition, or certainly in my family and many of my friends' families, to write a song about the bride and or groom No. To sing on the day of the wedding.
Firstly, you have to wait because I need to dress up.
Peter, however, explicitly asked for this not to happen. However, he said nothing about a rap. One of my friends said, "What? A 60-year-old Dutch bird doing a rap?" Heaven help us. But here we go.
So here we go.
1, 2, 3. This is the story of our son Pete, who just got married on the Isle of Crete. His lovely wife is called Daisy. She's as pretty as they can be. They met 9 years ago at uni in Reading. They didn't know then where the relationship was heading. They got together, and here we are today to wish them luck and happiness on their wedding day. On their wedding day. On their wedding day. Sorry, Peter. We won't embarrass you and ourselves any further.
That's it. So, is it working? Yes, working. So after passing his A-levels, Peter went to uni in Reading to study film and theatre. Reading is where he met Daisy, and lots of the friends who are here today. Thankfully, we don't know too much about what he got up to during those days.
That's what Dave's for, yeah.
Dave, we're hoping for this. We believe there was some studying going on, but from what we could see from the bottles stacked up in the kitchen whenever we visited, drinking played an especially large part of his life. I'm not sure how often his friends had to go out looking for him to find him passed out on the pavement somewhere.
Never.
And I think it was better we didn't know. I do remember seeing a picture, however, of Peter draped over the cooker. Anyway, the important thing is that he left with a degree in his pocket. Yeah, and
That's me.
that's Saskia.
After taking some time out working for CEX, where he met the lovely Callum, who is Master of Ceremonies today, being a radio presenter for Vibe in Watford with his friend Sam, and working for a rather dodgy company in London, he now has a good job working as Senior Digital Executive for Hotwire. He and Daisy got together in 2017, and we are unbelievably happy that she is now part of our family. We welcome both her and her family. An official daughter at last, and one who is not only beautiful, with the kindest of hearts, she is also a great cook and is at least as organized, if not more so, than I am. Last year, when we all went to Japan to get together, it became obvious what a great planner she is. Railway tickets, departure and arrival times and stations, spreadsheets with all the places we were going to see and hotels we were staying in, etc., etc. She was an absolute godsend.
So let's finish this by saying today is a day to celebrate, a day to build more memories, and a day to propose a toast to Peter and Daisy, who in our eyes make a truly perfect couple. So, Peter and Daisy. Bye.